Welcome back. We're delighted to be with you today. And today we are exploring this age that we're living in and the Shakti of this time. And one of the things that we want to talk about in depth here in the coming minutes is just what is Shakti and what is the energy of this time and how can you, let's just say, take advantage of the blessing of that. You know, so often as we live our lives, we keep thinking we need something more, and that's so common. We do need more. We need more clarity. We need more joy. We need more trust in our own abundance.
But, you know, I got to jump in, Sri, because we only need more until we remember we are enough.
Well, and that's the rub, isn't it?
Or the blessing.
Or the blessing, because we go through the calisthenics to get there. And let's take a caller here. We have a lady on the line from California,
Lovely.
Yvonne, that we are welcoming to the show.
Namaste, Yvonne. How can we serve you today?
Hi. Actually, I'm in Cave Creek, Arizona, but my phone number looks like California.
Okay, you're
still in California.
Multitasking.
I want to start leave what I'm doing, but I just can't seem to get out of this, the job industry, and every time I start moving forward with something, I always just stop. And I'm getting really, really drugged down by all of this.
Yeah. Well, may I ask you a question, Yvonne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So as you're wanting to leave, and there's already tons of information that's coming around you. However, I just want to ask you this. If you bring your hand to your heart and you close your eyes, is the reason that you get drugged down because you're afraid that if you leave, you won't be supported? Is that what's going on?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I see that. And, I want you to know that, first of all, you have an extraordinary group around you. The group that is standing around you, the group that is actually dancing around you, your group dances, and they're very, very fluid. It's a nice soft. It's like I'm watching this beautiful, beautiful soft dance going on with all these beautiful beings around you. And they're saying that we're dancing, but you are not dancing with us. And that what that means is that there is this sense of, I don't trust enough in my own talents and skills, and I don't trust enough in the universe to let those flow through me. So thereby, I'm going to kind of flip the switch the other way. Now, I love that you called today. I think that the timing is perfect. I love that you were first. I love that we were able to get you on the air, because you've got a real big choice in front of you, and you've got, November and December are actually two energies. Sri and I have been playing with this word like Novecember, because it's like two energies. So you've actually got the rest of the year to really start looking at what is the number, and they keep putting up their hands. They all keep going number one, and they all keep saying, what is the number one fear that you have? And it's time to look at how unreal it is, because right underneath that fear is your greatest success. And they also keep saying that you have forgotten that the number one in your life is you, and that you have a much greater capacity to create and bring in around you and to move forward. And they're also saying that to remember small steps is all it takes, but no steps is what's dragging you down. And so a small step might be to just start doing something a couple times a month that would put you toward where you ultimately want to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do have like a web page that I've been developing. My son's working on it for me, and a mock-up and all that. And I get started, but then I sort of just get down, because of everything that goes on around me. Mm-hmm. I just feel like I'm bombarded all the time. But I did see this woman come in. I was at a conference, and I was looking at the presenter, and this woman came in behind him. And it wasn't a real woman. I mean, it was a spirit. It kept wanting me to talk to him for her. And I, of course, I couldn't do that. It wasn't their place and time. But it was strange because that's never happened to me before.
Well, I love that. And thank you for sharing that, because what that is that's part of this window. And the window is teaching you that you have greater gifts than you're giving yourself the blessing of revealing. And so remember, whenever things feel like they're closing in or you're overwhelmed or there's too much going on, those are exactly the times when you need to stop and literally, get up, walk outside for a moment. If you can't, stretch, move your energy, bring your hand to your heart, take in a deep breath, and just affirm, I trust myself, I am moving forward. And if you can start with just that, I think you'll be really pleased. The other thing I'll share with you is in January, Shri and I are doing a very powerful teleworkshop. It's on RRST Science. It's a whopping $22. You should join workshop. It will definitely help you. You will be very happy you joined us. But you've got 2 months. Take advantage and enjoy. And I'm glad you called today.
All right.
Namaste.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And to Yvonne and anyone else that is relating to the predicament of kind of having some inertia around moving forward.
Yeah, yet knowing you want to.
Exactly. We have the skills and the adult perspectives, yet we have this other energy inside that is a little tentative at times. And so one thing that's useful, this is a little homework tip for those of you that want it, is to do a little journaling on the positive qualities that others have seen in me are.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I'm talking about simple things like friends tell me I'm a good listener, or I'm compassionate, or I'm kind to animals, whatever it is. It might also be, I'm funny or a good writer, or I'm skilled at certain things. Make a list of the things that others have told you about you. This is the feedback from the social circle. And take a look at all those lovely qualities, because when we move out into the world, we don't want to forget that we have those things.
Well, Shri, I love
foundational.
That. It does. And here's something that I love. And I think Yvonne's call was so right on target that we should jump right in and talk a little bit about the Shakti exchange, because that's what she's also saying. Right now, her Shakti exchange is not as full as it should be. And, Shri and I actually have just published a beautiful sharing on Shakti exchange. If you go to our website, shriandkira.com, you'll see right on the homepage, Shakti exchange. Just click on it and go read it, because it's important to understand that we are in the middle of a planetary rise of Shakti. And I think, Shri, that kind of begs the question of, well, let's talk about what that is and what that means.
Well, Shakti, in the simplest form, is energy.
Right.
And what we're referring to actually is divine energy. It's that grace, that life force energy. And your Shakti is enhanced as you live a life of authenticity in alignment with your own divinity. There's a difference between building up emotional tension and accumulating Shakti.
Well, and for those of you, I hear you guys, I hear some of you saying, wait a minute, I thought Shakti was this, or this. So for those of you that say, well, I thought Shakti was all about my Kundalini or internal energy, or I thought Shakti is a goddess. The beauty of Shakti is she is very, very fluid, right? All of those definitions fit into the definition of Shakti. What we're talking about, what we're inviting you to remember, because remember, my angels, this is inside of you. What we're inviting you to remember is that the Shakti is the divine receptor. It is the energy of receiving, and it begins at the traditional root chakra found at the base of the spine. And this is why a lot of people equate Shakti with Kundalini. What we're inviting you to do is remember this. Take this one on. I want you guys to just try this one on. You deserve because you were born.
You deserve because you were born.
Now, I want you to really take that in. It means you were born. You're already a master.
You don't have to prove anything in order to receive abundant flow.
It's yours, my loves. Coming to this planet is graduation. It's not remedial homework, okay? You came here because you're already the master. And I know that flies upside down in a lot of people's belief systems that think you're here because you're trying to become a master. My angels, it's just the opposite. This is the top of the pyramid. You're here because you are a master. Now, you may have bound yourself to this planetary energy for many, 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 many lifetimes. That's a form of mastery of this form of being. However, it does not negate that you're here because you're a master. It's the lifetime when you remember yourself awake that you are free. And the fact that the planetary Shakti has become available is outrageously beautiful because it's giving you an opportunity to make leaps and bounds in that remembrance.
You know, one of the most beautiful things that I remember Archangel Zadkiel sharing with me was something along this line. He said, Sri Ramka, everyone here is awake.
Yes.
Now, I immediately balked when I heard that. I said, oh, no. We're in a process of awakening. You know, we're trying to become enlightened.
Right.
And he didn't say, no, you're wrong. He just continued. He said, everyone here is awake. However, what they are awake to differs.
Exactly.
What are you awake to? Are you awake to your struggle? Are you awake to suffering? Or are you awake to the universal oneness? Are you awake to the joy? And as we consider just that shift, that discernment, freedom is at hand.
You know, I love that. And before we take our next caller, let me just finish and share this with you, angels, that remember that our Mother Earth is our first source of receiving. She is your first Shakti experience, meaning that you are born here. You deserve because you were born. And our beloved mother, our Gaia mother, has everything you need. We have the medicines, we have the trees, the plants, the creativity, everything you need, literally. She is giving you without limits, without judgment, without restriction. You are being showered constantly from the mother. This Shakti is being showered to you and you receive it through the root chakra. Yet, when we're preoccupied with money, when we're preoccupied with support, when we're preoccupied with our basic needs or our fears, we literally shut our root chakra, thereby saying to our mother, I do not deserve, I am not ready to receive. And we literally forget that Shakti is an exchange. And if we are not receiving, we start giving from an empty well.
And this is a concept and a truth that sometimes we need to just breathe and relax and allow that shift of perspective to come into us. We are constantly being given energy.
Yes.
And fear is the unifying concept of rejecting.
Wow, that's powerful.
When I say unifying concept, what I mean by that is every limiting belief you have, meaning money is the root of all evil, for example, or I don't deserve, or there's something wrong with me, or something wrong with you. When we have those kinds of judgments, the unifying principle in all of those judgments is fear.
Yes.
And people say fear is the enemy, but we get distracted by the many faces of fear.
Well, fear is also the ultimate expression of Kali Yuga.
Yes, and fear is the ultimate expression of your mastery. If you're able to walk through your fears, you get completed. We're done.
Absolutely, and it's remembering yourself awake through the fear.
Have a laugh at all the faces of fear because they're all here to remind you of how brilliant you are, that you can walk through and face and transmute all of them.
Well, you know, I was giggling lately because, of course, in the media right now, the next new fear, as if society wasn't being bombarded with enough fear, is Ebola. And
and consider this for a moment, because there's another thing that we need to talk about that's another aspect of the Kali Yuga, and that's the interference energies.
Yes.
There are indeed conscious energies seeking to interfere with the homogenation, with the harmony, with the ascension process. And so by stirring up the thought forms of fear, by bringing in the next crisis, the next problem, it disconnects many people from their abundant flow.
Yeah.
And that the fear is not only a distraction, but it causes the chakra it's like pinching.
It's like a collapse.
It collapses the chakra. And what that does is it creates a mass consciousness of dependency.
Right.
Rather than the masses flowing with the abundant harmony and the peace of being in the Garden of Eden, there is this tension, this distrust, and this constant alertness that comes with fear, and that creates the hierarchical experience of less than and more than.
Right.
And, of course, the far more people on the less than side of that teeter-totter.
Very much so. And we're gonna move to a caller, but I want to share with you that we're also going to chat about today what happens when we receive? What happens when this planet is now pouring out Shakti, and that we understand what a Shakti exchange is? And we're going to be talking a lot more about that. But before we do, Sri, why don't we receive our next caller?
Absolutely. We have a gentleman from New York that's been standing by, so let's welcome Bill to the show.
Namaste, Bill. Welcome.
Welcome, and thank you.
We're delighted to hear from you. How may we serve you today?
Well, you are talking exactly about what I need to hear, and I'm in a position where I'm at a crossroads of either going full senior citizen or go full back to work with a really decent job that I can't really, people aren't giving to me. And so I'm sort of stuck in that Cali position of everything falling apart, yet underneath I feel like everything is going to be okay, and I'm sort of surviving as we go along here. And yet there's that fear because I feel like I'm stuck in between.